My life before Jesus was a complete mess. I was bound by anything you could think possible, addictions, women, just involved in some things that are just not good. I didn't really have a father around since I was young. And then my mom was kind of in and out of my life. And so, really, my grandparents raised me. In middle school, that's kind of where I started to experiment more so with just like drinking, drugs, dating, and stuff like that. From that point on, especially in high school, just a lot of partying, a lot of sin, and just really enjoying like living that type of life. And so after high school, I just got into situations where I was with people and we were ending up getting arrested. So there was times where I even went to jail. I just didn't know where to go and how to do life anymore. Cause I was like, man, am I just gonna end up in this situation over and over again? Cause I had just been trying to do life my way. Growing up, I had this one friend who lived across the street that was just my Christian influence for most of my life. They took me in and I lived with them for a while. And so they gave me boundaries, rules, and helped me, get in college and things like that. And so I did that for a while, but I still had no knowledge of who Jesus really was. I knew the story of Jesus, but it really meant nothing to me. It was just a way to get out of the life that I was living. And so after a while of doing that, I kind of thought that I was okay to go back to where I was from. And then once I went back there, I went back into all of the same things. I actually ended up in the hospital because I was making really bad decisions. And so I just remember thinking, man, like this can't be all there is to life. And so I had friends that passed away before or even in jail just from living that lifestyle. And I just wondered over and over again, why was I still living today, even though I had friends mess up one or two times and just end up dead? And so I called the Christian influence that I had in my life and I talked to them. They took me in. They're telling me about Jesus. I still don't totally understand, but I'm listening to them. And after this conversation, they thought that it would be a good idea for me to go to Bible college, knowing that it would really just separate me from the environment that I had grown up in. And so that's how I ended up at Calvary Chapel Bible College in Marietta. Not a Christian, just a way to get out of a situation that I was in before. And I'm going to these classes, and one in particular that really just spoke to me was this class in Matthew. And this teacher was just laying out all of the evidence and all the historical facts about like, this is actually who Jesus was and this is what he did while he was on the earth. Something clicked in between this class of, wait, if Jesus is actually real and he died on the cross and all of us are guilty, then I knew for myself and I got really scared and I was like, then I'm for sure going to hell because I've done a lot of bad things that I would never want anyone to find out about. And so I just knew with that, the life experience I had, that I should be judged for that sin and that would leave me guilty. And so I remember there was this one night that me and my friends were gonna go see Black Panther. So they're inviting me to go see this movie, but then there was this like worship night. For some reason, I had like this like tugging on my heart to go to this worship night, even though I did not understand worship music at all. And so they're in there, they're praying, just a bunch of college kids, just playing music and singing songs. And then there was a song that came on called King of My Heart. Kind of goes, you are good, like over and over again. And I just remember something clicked. When I'm listening to that chorus, I thought about all my life, all the situations I had been through, and realized that the reason that I went through all of those things and was here today is because God had a plan for me. And so even though I saw so many people lose their life or be in jail and be in those situations, I knew personally for me that God had brought me through all those situations, brought me to California from Delaware, brought me to a Bible college when I wasn't a Christian, just to draw me close to himself. And so I broke down, and from that point, I knew for sure that I wanted to follow Jesus. But I've had all this bad life experience. I've done everything the wrong way, and I just knew that I couldn't repay God. So I went to one of my leaders there and just told him like, hey dude, like I think I'm saved, but like I can't repay God. There's just no way. And so he reassured me and talked to me about grace. And so for me, it's always hard to think about how to share my testimony, or even if I want to, because a lot of times it's associated with shame and sin. And so I don't want anyone to judge me for some of the things that I've been through or have done. But I'm reminded of a passage where Paul is writing to Timothy and is talking about all of his life experience at the end of his life. And he says that all of the things that he had been through, God had given him grace and taken him through that and then saved him so that he can be basically a vessel that shows everyone, hey, if this person can do everything wrong and I save them and use them for my glory, then he can use anyone. And so for me, I've just really thought about how God can use my story for his glory at any point. I just have to be faithful to talk about him in regards to my story.